Good morning and welcome to Brewing Happiness. Now, food, glorious food. Food is something we all share. We all eat, right? Most of us several times a day. Food binds us and bonds us, right? We plan our days around it. My man's a cook. He wakes up in the morning thinking about what's he going to prep, how's he going to prep the meat, what's he going to cook that day. Cooking shows, all the rage everywhere you look. We're all foodies now, right? And our relationship with food is so important. It's primal. It's with us our whole lives, right? It impacts our health, our social activities, our thoughts, even our memories, right? What's your favorite food memory? If you're watching this on the replay, leave me a note. Let me know. What's your favorite food memory? What food do you smell and you're instantly transported to a favorite moment in your life? I'd love to know about yours. Mine would have to be, redolent. Redolent is a word. It's something or someone that reminds you of a memory. The smell of fresh bread is redolent of my childhood. Word for the day, right? My mom used to bake bread. She was not working at the time, and so she would bake bread so that it would be ready slightly after we got home from school. You could smell the bread when we walked home from school in grade school, and you could smell the bread as you turned the corner. You would know Mom's making bread, and we would run the last few houses and sit, and we would get our plates and our knives and the butter out and sit at the counter and wait for the bread to come out. We would laugh and joke, and it's just a memory that is so deeply entrenched in my mind that smell of fresh cooking bread just takes me back there every time. So that's what food can do for us. It's an effective trigger of deep memories and feelings and emotions, not just memories, emotions, as well as managing or monitoring our internal mind and body. And it can make us nostalgic and yearn for maybe another time. Our sense of smell is so closely tied to our memory. Now, the fact is, smell and taste are so closely interlinked. You almost can't, they kind of work together. It's very powerful. In fact, your tongue really can only taste four things. It can take sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and now something called umami. But that's been added to the flavors that the tongue can discern. But 80% of flavor comes from the smell of the food. So smell, your olfactory sense, right? Our sense of smell is our olfactory system. And those receptors are located in the limbic system of our brain. Now remember, the limbic system's where both emotions and memories live. So smelling specific foods triggers specific memories. And here's an interesting fact. The more stimulated you were when you ate the food, right? The more vivid, the more solid is that memory. Let's say you always make and eat pie. When it rains outside, you and the fam always bake a pie when it rains. Every time you smell rain, you're going to think about that pie. Every time you smell pie, I should say, you're going to think about the rain. It's way more so than that. Oh, good morning, Jessica. Good morning, Jessica. Welcome. Anyway, that tradition of eating pie, or that tradition my mom had of baking bread after school, happened all the time. Much stronger than that one day you made a chicken sandwich after school, right? Maybe don't have a whole lot of emotional memory tied to every bite we've eaten, but some things, oh my goodness, food is part of our fundamental identities, our family histories. So much of who we are, because guess what? We do it every day, and we've been doing it every day since we were born. Well, almost every day. I've been known to fast for a day or two, but that's a different topic. So food, a part of our fondest memories. Maybe you liked to cook with Mom when you were a kid, and you remember cutting up the potatoes for potato salad, or stirring that spaghetti sauce. Just, Mom, can I stir? Oh, maybe that's just me. Or barbecuing with Dad and being his helper, handing him the tools, making sure that he got the burgers straight on the grill. special memories. Christmas gatherings. Oh, the cookies. My family, giant Italian family, would get together for Christmas. Everybody brought a different cookie. And yes, it was a bit of a competition. Oh, the cookies and the food. Come on. We share special meals. We share meals as a special occasion, right? Birthdays, celebrations, graduations. There's always a meal. Even funerals. There's always a meal going on, right? Travel. We travel, and yeah, you think you're going to remember the beautiful sunsets or the helicopter tour, but in the end, we remember the food. We remember what we ate, what was different, what was great, what was disappointing, right? We take a bite of something and you're immediately transported back to that moment. Because it's not just the food, right? It's not just the food. It's the experiences around the food that create a memory. Trigger memories don't just happen from one sense, right? Our memories involve all of our senses. And so maybe it's that olfactory that triggers and begins it. But in the memory, when we revisit the time, when we re-enter the memory, all the senses. We remember what was happening with all of our senses. The physical act of enjoying the food maybe just lasts a minute or two, right? But the memories can last a lifetime. Now, in our society, excuse me, relationship with food is more than fuel, right? It's how we express ourselves, how we share our lives together. It has its place in the foundation of our relationships, whether it's a first date or bringing a meal over to a friend's house to celebrate a promotion or mourn a loss or provide some comfort, right? Given it's important, it's vital that our relationship with food be healthy for us to have a healthy lifestyle. We are what we eat, not just a cliche, right? We fuel our body with our food. It's the gas we put in our gas tank. And whether you run cheap gas with water in it or you pay for the expensive stuff can make a difference in how your car runs. So the food you put in your body make a big difference in our lives. Now, here's the history of food. In the beginning, early humans, right? Early human beings, we learned to walk upright, right? And as we did, we were able to travel. As we were able to walk better, we were able to travel better. And that meant we were able to hunt and forage over larger periods of land, or larger areas, right? So this started to develop more variety in our diets and more flexible diets. We ate fruit, we, the collective we, me and the cavemen, right? We ate fruits and leaves and nuts and animals and birds and mollusks and crustaceans, turtles, small mammals, rabbits, squirrels, fish, anything we could catch, right? Anything we could find or catch that we could eat. We got stronger. As we got stronger as a people, we became more social. We worked together better, and we were then able to track larger prey. And we learned to cook with fire. Now, what happened is we already had big brains, but our already big brains got bigger and stronger. And we're hardwired to eat what we can when we can, right? That was a survival thing. We eat what's available because you got to eat, right? So over time, many different diets developed depending on where you are and what was available to you. Some were rich in the fruits and berries that were found. Others more, maybe they were closer to water, so they ate more fish. Others ate more animals, had higher fat content. Didn't matter. All these diets started developing. All these cultures started developing around these different diets. We know different cultures eat different foods, but while they're developing, they still had one thing in common. Humans were getting healthier, stronger, starting to live longer. Eventually, then we started learning to cultivate our food, right? To grow it in the ground. And we moved from being a foraging, nomadic society to a sedentary, stay in one place, right? We learned to stay in one place and cultivate crops and surplus. And we transitioned from a hunting society to an agricultural society. This is the history of our people, all people, right? And then the agricultural society was great in many ways. We got to stay home. We got to build permanent shelters. We started to specialize, and I will pound you some copper if you will sew me some hides, right? We started to develop a cooperative society. Lots of goodness. But our food choices took a hit when we became more sedentary, right? Good for life, less packing, less moving, not as good for food. Diets became monotonous and kind of less nutritious because we were eating the same things. We weren't moving around, getting everything possible, right? And then what happened to our food? Because as we became an agricultural society, as we started specializing and growing and storing foods, it became business, became big business. And at the beginning of the 19th century, 20th century, the early 1900s, late 1800s, early 1900s, we started processing food, right? We started making food big business and processing food in order to produce more of it, for it to last longer, for it to be more convenient as we became the society of specialty and got jobs and our lives became busier, and we started desiring that all the time that went into food preparation, taking food from its rawest materials to its eatable form. We now sacrifice that, or we now move as a people generally, we moved to this processed food that was created in a factory somewhere. So processing became a mass industry, and we went from eating two kinds of foods, animals and plants, to eating a third kind of engineered edible substance, barely recognizable as a product of the earth. So here's a couple of not so fun facts that have happened to tell you what's happening to food production. Chicken production has increased 1,400% since World War II, right? I suppose we produce 1,400% more chickens, but the number of chicken farmers reduced by 98%. This is not good for the chickens, and it's not good for us, right? Chickens are now raised in factories. The laws mandating cage-free or free roaming, they're not that great. They leave it room for the chickens to still be smashed together with little bits of glimpses of sunlight and calling it open range. Anyway, that's my personal. I had chickens. That's my personal beef. But so in Iowa, okay, here's another fact. Animals living in a CAFO. What's that? What's a CAFO? Concentrated Animal Feeding Operation. Sounds very bad. They produce as much waste as 168 million people, or 53 times the state of Iowa's population. They produce waste for the system of food, the system of producing food, right, provides an uninterrupted supply of food in spite of the season. So instead of us eating what's available when it's available, we can eat anything we want anytime we want. We have food that's out of season, but it's grown somewhere else in the world, right? So we package it up, give it some preservatives, make it last a little bit longer, send it out, and you can eat apples, whether it's the fall or the summertime. You can eat watermelon in the heart of winter, right? Doesn't matter. Food is now big business. And who figured this out was the advertisers, right? And anyway, super society changes around food. Super duper. Our society changed around the way our society, our individualism, our relationship with foods all changed as the way we gather, store, and prepare our food has changed. And so what this has left us with is a discussion on our relationship with food, right? we all have a relationship with food. It's based on a couple of things. I don't care who you are, whether it's a good relationship or a bad relationship, you have one with food. It's based on a couple different things. Habits, right? When you go to the movies, you eat some popcorn. Or maybe you grab a bag of chips to sit on your couch and eat a movie, watch a movie. Or maybe you have a little ritual where you have ice cream every night before you go to bed. Oh, wait, that's just me. When I was a kid, you had to be a member of the Clean Plate Club, right? Didn't matter if you were full or not. You finished what was on your plate. Eat what you want, take what you want, eat what you take. That was our rule. Sometimes we hurry up a meal. We're in such a rush society. We just consume our food so fast we don't even taste it, right? It's just a utility, function, make that hunger feeling go away. So we get habits around our food. It's around social gatherings. Food is prevalent in almost every social gathering, right? Food is a big deal. Family gets together. What do? You serve a meal. You go to the ball game. You have a hot dog. You go to a party. You ask, what kind of food are they going to have? Even in a funeral, the food is a big part of our social interactions. You can't get away from it, right? Sometimes that food's not good for us. Sometimes we're someplace and they serve food that we normally wouldn't eat, but you're there. Social pressure, right? You don't want to be rude, so we eat it. And we all have our own psychological tendencies, right? Sometimes we eat when we're stressed, depressed. I know for me, when I'm a little upset, I eat. When I'm super upset, can't get any food down. Some people stop eating when they get stressed and upset. I do both. Minor stress, I eat everything inside. Big stress, constriction. I can't eat anything. I'm sure you have your own psychological tendencies. How do you deal with food and stress, right? That's the whole point, is we need to understand our own cycles, our own triggers, and how we personally, what our relationship with food is. Our senses, right? Our senses have a lot to do with food. That I told you, smell of baking bread. I'm instantly a child when I smell baking bread. It can trigger memory. It can trigger cravings. Understand your triggers. Part of managing your food, managing your relationship with your food, is knowing what those triggers are. Obviously, you don't want to act on every trigger, but knowing where it came from can help you logically say, yeah, that's that trigger. I'm not going to go bake some bread because I smelled some, but I sure do enjoy the memory, right? And, we use we use food as a reward. Come on, we do this as parents. If you're good, you can have a cookie. If you eat 3 bites of your dinner, you'll be able to have dessert. I think Orida even has a commercial about it, about bribing your kids with a couple of crispy fries if they eat their veggies. It's part of our lexicon, of part of the way we deal, right? Food can be a reward. We go to pizza after we win the game. We go to ice cream. We go out for ice cream because we got good grades. That's okay for special times. I mean, there's nothing wrong with linking food to special times or special events, right? We eat cake on our birthdays. That's all right. We just want to make sure we don't do it too much, that those are the exceptions and not the rule, right? Sometimes we have a tendency in our relationship with food, we label foods. They're good food or bad food, right? We decide that some foods are bad for us, and that allows us to indulge in feeling guilt, shame, blame, right? Oh, I ate something I shouldn't have. Now I got to feel guilty about it. When you have a good relationship with your food, you have permission to eat what you want when you want to, right? You don't label your foods good or bad. You don't necessarily link your eating habits to your emotional states. What does a bad relationship with food look like? Well, you feel guilty about eating. Feel guilty about not eating. You avoid some foods. You restrict foods. You call some foods bad foods. You have a big list of rules. You ignore your natural hunger cues, or you participate in yo-yo dieting. You have a lot of stress around eating or not eating. You find yourself restricting or maybe binging with food. Any sign of guilt or shame or stress around your eating is a sign of maybe a little trouble in paradise with your relationship with food, right? We want to have a good relationship with food. It's the secret to a healthy, happy eating history or eating habits, right? You cannot decouple your food from your health. You cannot ignore the impact of what you eat has on who you are, how you behave, how you feel, how you act, right? It's too big to ignore. It's one of the very few things we all share as humans, well, as living creatures. Let's just forget it. Even amoebas eat. Everybody eats. We eat, we sleep, we pass waste, right? We breathe, but we don't really. This is the list of things that we can all count among the list of everyone does this. That list is short. Something everyone does. Everyone eats, everyone poops, everyone sleeps. Maybe that list is longer, but everyone blinks. I mean, you could get crazy, right? But it's on the list. So how do we develop a good relationship with food? How do we start saying, this is a relationship discussion, right? I want a better relationship with my food. How am I going to get that? That's simple. Here's a couple of ideas. Make sure it's a biological necessity. Monitor when you're eating just because you're bored or because the social situation dictates it, right? No, thank you is usually you're afraid of people will be insulted. But when you say no, thanks, that's not on my diet right now, or no, thank you, I'm not hungry right now. Usually the conversation moves on, right? It's not a big deal. No one cares what you do. It's your body. It's your business. But we feel pressured, so think about that pressure. Don't give in to it. We eat for all kinds of reasons, right? We eat for comfort. We eat, again, sociably. We eat for celebration. We eat on schedule. It's lunchtime. We need to eat lunch. So kind of, I guess the world is to maybe not be not so dictated. Make our eating habits not so Let's try this again. Make our eating habits not so dictated by where we are, what's going on around us, the social situation, our feelings. But reconnect with your hunger, right? Eating is about feeding your body. Think of your hunger on a scale of like 1 to 10. 1, famished, haven't eaten for days. I would eat my desk if I could chew it. 10 is after Thanksgiving dinner, stuffed on the couch. I can't move. I'm in a food coma. 1 to 10, right? The advice, as I understand it, is start eating when you hit a 2, maybe a 3, and stop eating when you feel full at maybe a 6 or a 7. Maybe you don't need to go back for second helpings, right? Now, you don't want to wait. You want to eat when you first start feeling hungry. We all know the dangers of eating or, let's say, shopping when you're hungry. Shopping when you're hungry, you come home with a cart full of stuff you didn't want. Eat when you're not hungry, and you will pay the price in stomach trouble, feeling full, feeling bloated, feeling lack of energy, needing to sleep, food coma, right? You're going to feel it. If you eat when you first start feeling hungry, you're a lot more likely to enjoy your food, right? You're a lot more likely to really taste each bite, to really enjoy each bite. A big predicting of overeating is letting yourself to get too hungry in the first place. When we get really hungry, then we get really hungry. We eat everything in sight, and all of a sudden it's too late, and we have stopped ourselves. Eat what you're craving, right? I'm a big believer in your body knows what it wants. I have a strict rule. If it sounds good, you may eat it. If it doesn't sound good, please don't. I trust my body to tell me, yes, this is good. 100% no, right? Ice cream sounds really good to me all the time. So sometimes I have to say no to that it sounds good. But I think a good rule is if it doesn't sound good, don't eat it. Your body's telling you, no, not good for you. Our bodies know what we need if we listen to them. And in fact, listening to our bodies, that's part of developing our intuitiveness, right? Our mindfulness, our not just going by what the schedule says. Oh, lunchtime, let's grab a sandwich. But by being in tune with ourselves, with who we are, with what we need at any given moment. Food is a part of that list of things we may need at any given moment. But we want to be kind to our bodies, true to ourselves, and try not to use food as punishments and rewards for ourselves. This just gets us, anytime we're using food, anytime we're using food as a reward or a punishment, or we're eating because of an emotion, I'm stressed, I'm unhappy, this ice cream sure is going to make me feel better. We're just, you know what? We're just engaging in the blame shame game. We're just giving ourselves a reason. Good morning, Hazel. Welcome, welcome, welcome. As we end the near the broadcast, talking about our relationship with food, and how to have a healthy relationship with food is honor your body. Listen to what it tells you. Try to decouple your food from the emotional triggers and the emotional drivers that drive us to eat or not eat based on something other than our physical need, our hunger, what your body is telling you it needs to do what it does to keep you doing what you do. That's right. So food, glorious food, is part of our lives. Can't get away from it. We all eat. Work on a healthy relationship with your food. Thank it before but thank your food before you put it in your body. Be grateful for the nourishment it's going to provide. Step away from the blame game. Did you eat a cupcake for breakfast this morning? It's okay. Don't do it you can't do it every day. It's not good for you. But you ate one today. Don't beat yourself up. Right? Be kind. Be kind to yourselves. Sometimes we indulge. Everybody indulges in things that, maybe not the best for us. It's okay. It's about our habits, right? It's not about what we do one time or we do under extraordinary circumstances or in very special occasions. Those are the outliers of our data. Those are the moments that we get to maybe switch off the rules and say, I don't really have any rules. I don't usually eat cake, but today, my friend, you're here, it's your birthday, I'm eating cake with you. Be grateful for food. Think of it as your friend. Have a healthy relationship so that it feeds your body and provides everything you need to do everything you need. Okay, that's our show for today. Thank you for watching. If you're stopping by on the replay, I'd love to hear from you. What is your favorite food memory? If you'd like to have the notes from today's show, I have a little script. So if you would like the notes from today's show, leave me a note. Leave me a little message that says show notes, and I will send them right to you. Anyway, that's it for today. Brewing Happiness. We're here to have a little chat in the morning to make sure you start off your day thinking about your own happiness, creating happiness wherever you go, being that happiness ambassador, bringing that happiness to everyone you meet. That's our show for today. Until tomorrow, make it a happy